as what you expect based on the thumbnail, but it looks like you guys are all here. Oh man. You know, as a content creator, sometimes you gotta just be creative, right? Nobody wants to watch some of the videos, and this is the only way that I can get your attention. Anyhow, today is Halloween. It is October 31st of 2025. Guys, I'm driving. As you can see, I'm on the road. It's a little bit bumpy. Don't concentrate on the video. Don't concentrate on any thumbnails. Just concentrate on the audio today. All right? So, it's Halloween, right? What does that mean for private security? Well, you got to be a little bit more cautious when you're out there. And some of us are working this Halloween. We're working tonight. If you're working tonight, you got to be cautious. And we'll give you some safety tips that take back. Maybe you guys could take it back with your team as well. Maybe you could share this video with others. So in Halloween, obviously everyone dresses up in costumes. Some people actually dress up as burglars and robbers, ninjas, Superman, Batman, you name it. But this is a golden opportunity for criminals. And what I've seen in the past is that you'll have like 15 or 10 or 8 juveniles that dress all the same. They dress in black shirts or black sweaters, black pants, black socks, and black shoes, and they vandalize and they commit crimes. They go door to door, or they look for that perfect door that they can just breach where everybody's out trick-or-treating, and there's no way of identifying them. I mean, it's very, very, short of a confession, it's very difficult to identify these criminals. And in California, the laws are so convoluted, even if the police end up arresting these juveniles, there is statutory law that says that they cannot be interviewed without the presence of an attorney. Can't even ask them questions because we're in 2025 and many of us are in the state of California. So what are some other issues we have to look at? If you're working at convenience stores, liquor stores, or these properties where there's a high volume of commercial traffic, you have trick-or-treaters that are dressed in these interesting costumes, right? Is this a real sword or is it a fake sword? What you have to look at is basically your anomalies. And what is an anomaly? What is a baseline? What is baseline behaviors? So baseline behaviors that are typical, they're average, and they're common for any given situation. Your anomaly is your breakaway of baseline, something that just sticks out. Should you react to anomaly? Well, there's different types of reaction. When something is an anomaly, I would just keep eyeballing it and putting yourself in maybe condition in the Jeff Cooper color code, maybe putting yourself in condition orange when you see an anomaly. You should always be in condition yellow, which basically means that I am calm, I'm collective, there is no threat to my life, but if something happens, I'll be ready. It may not happen today, may not happen tomorrow, but I will be ready. Condition orange is, oh, okay, I recognize this pattern, I recognize this anomaly. This anomaly is moving in, closing the distance to me. And I need to be prepared to make a move. That might mean move off the X, verbally address the situation, or get prepared for the fight. That's what you ought to be doing at these posts where you work at. I think something that we could take away is maybe creating a physical barrier. So if you're at a post And it's uncommon for people to approach you, right? But more common if it's Halloween, because maybe you got some kids that want to get some candy. Wherever you're sitting, create a physical barrier and make it a little bit farther away from where you normally sit. That way, when someone enters your little private area, that's going to activate, that is warning signs, and that's going to activate a response from you, an appropriate response. Maybe, I don't know, guys, maybe you work at a bar or a club or some type of establishment where sometimes things get out of control and you are stationed at the door with the chair. Maybe you can put some like caution tape somewhere and create a small little physical or a visual barrier so that people have to pass the barrier to get to you. It's highly recommended that you do that. And if you're in supervision, you're in management, I want you guys to set up your team for success tonight. Okay? Is it common for somebody to shove a gun in your face, even a fake toy, during Halloween time? I think that would even be a little bit strange. I would argue it's an anomaly, especially if you're an armed security officer. Most Halloween people, so to speak, most trick-or-treaters are not that dumb to pull a gun, a fake gun on an armed private security officer. Now, yes, there are your variances, and there are very stupid people out there. I get it, but it's usually not normal. And I'm not going to tell you what your response should be, but you should have a plan just in case something like that happens. 100%. There's going to be a lot of intoxicated, impaired drivers out there. Please be careful. If you're working bike patrol, I would make an argument to say that maybe you shouldn't go bike patrol, or maybe avoid traffic. Maybe jump on the sidewalk if it's safe to do so and you're not going to hurt anybody. If you're not going to, I don't know, maybe accidentally crash into somebody that's leaving the driveway, or somebody that's making a left-hand turn or right-hand turn onto a private driveway. I mean, just be careful, guys. There's a lot of impaired drivers out there. I would be concerned to the point where I would be looking for impaired drivers until I get home. Even when you're off duty, you got to be really careful, be vigilant, and be an alert and defensive driver. After Halloween, we got Veterans Day. We have Thanksgiving. We have Christmas time, New Year's. Guys, for Veterans Day, it's a very emotional time for veterans, and some of them, or actually many of them, suffer from psychological challenges. A lot of you guys end up patrolling apartment complexes, right? Please be careful. There's a lot of people. There's people out there suffering, and they don't know what they do to their life, and some of them have no regard for your life. So they might be pressing you to press that trigger on them during that amount of time. Now, it's a rare circumstance, but it's something that we need to be aware of. Thanksgiving, there's always mixed emotions when it comes down to Thanksgiving time. Okay, some people get depressed. Okay, they get depressed because they don't have a family that they can spend Thanksgiving with. Christmas time, the same thing with Christmas time. And then New Year's sometimes just gets out of control. The most common day for law enforcement officers to lose their life, believe it or not, it's actually it's around the holidays. It's Thanksgiving Day, sometimes the day after. It is Christmas Day, Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve, and New Year's Day. That's the most common. So I don't know what the stats are on private security. who have lost their private security officers who have lost their life in the line of duty. There's some stats, but it's based off of newspaper articles. There's no government stats where we can say that it's a little bit more accurate. We really don't have that over there. All I could say is please be vigilant. Please be safe out there. I really appreciate you guys working today and working through the holidays. What you're doing is you're protecting your clients, you're protecting people on your property, you're protecting families. When I worked private security, I would feel under the weather, so to speak. I would feel anxious, sometimes depressed a little bit, because while I was patrolling the properties, you have families enjoying themselves, enjoying their loved ones, their grandparents, their aunt, uncles, their children. They're laughing, they're eating together, and they're having a great time. And here I was providing security patrols, right? Please realize that we really appreciate you guys doing what you're doing on a daily basis. There's some sacrifices that have to be made. Instead of spending Halloween with the family, the friends, your own kids, you're over there doing a good thing. You're protecting all of us, and I really appreciate you. We really appreciate you guys. So that's all I got for today's video. If you guys have any safety tips on Halloween for private security professionals, for law enforcement, maybe even correctional officers, maybe even the holidays, we appreciate you if you comment below. All right, guys, take care.